Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Please join us over at rivianstories.com for all the latest Rivian news. Maybe pick up yourself a t-shirt while you're there. Thanks. The only other one that Reese updated us on is the manual covers for the truck. Do we want to talk about that?
Yes. And the other thing that would be good is the bed tailgate pad.
For
Have
the
you seen
bikes?
that? Yeah, that is
Yeah,
cool.
it is super cool. Yeah, so let's hop into that. We first saw the post from RJ about the new manual cover and the powered covers that are coming. And then we got an email from Rivian just kind of clarifying some things.
Yeah, so I'll jump in. And I know that this is huge news for a lot of people that have had issues with their tonneau cover. But the redesigned power cover is coming this summer, and I assume will be shipping on new trucks. No word yet that I have seen on the parts to fix covers for people that have had issues. So I'm hoping it's going to be the same general time frame. But man, the one that I think is super slick, I really love the manual cover that they came out with
Yep.
and how it works, how it packs up. Obviously, no reliability issues with that, which I've had every design of tonneau covers on trucks over the years. And yeah, I'm a big fan of less potential items or issues for failure, and I'm a fan of the manual option.
Yeah, it looks great coming out. As you can see, like for those who are maybe just listening and not watching YouTube, and if you didn't see it, it's a cool design because it pulls out kind of one piece at a time. Looks like there's about 4 or 5 pieces. Then has this great case that stacks in with padding in between each piece that'll fit in the gear tunnel or wherever. I agree with the manual. Jimmy, do you have anything? I will bring this up, and I'll go ahead and make sure that any of the email address isn't on here.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, keep going.
No, I was just going to say, I think that what we saw about the tonneau covers coming midsummer, the manual cover will begin shipping to owners who configured a manual tonneau cover R1T in midsummer 2023 and be introduced to the production line, meaning R1T will start to be produced and delivered with the manual tonneau cover equipped. And then the updated power tonneau cover components will begin shipping to service centers, prioritizing existing R1T owners needing repairs in midsummer 2023. As a reminder, the updated design addresses subcomponent design issues and improves the tonneau cover's robustness against manufacturing built variations. The look and function of the new design is the same. So a little bit of clarity on that. Does that bring to mind anything else?
So as far as the power tonneau goes, right there in the email, it states that the slats are going to all stay the same. There's no difference there other than the fact that with audio on that Instagram reel, that tonneau cover is extremely quiet compared to every other tonneau cover I've heard on an R1T. So that'll be nice because, thankfully ours, knock on all things wood, ours still functions. It just sounds like at any second it's going to break. It just hasn't yet. And then my only takeaway from the manual, while I like the design, I am a little bummed that they removed the functionality that they had originally. Again, this is going way back to 2018 into early 2019. But the manual tonneau cover was supposed to be a camp table when it had the ability to be used as a camp table when removed. And granted, they didn't highlight it, but I don't see anything that could have been sitting in that bag before they put the slats in. So I think that that idea of the manual tonneau being used as a camp table while when removed is no longer a thing.
You never know, though, Jimmy. I mean, it might
You
be
never know.
something as simple as a collapsible table frame that it can
Correct.
sit on top of and somehow fasten onto, right?
They
Very
have
true.
been known to kind of under-promise, over-deliver on this kind of stuff, like once or twice in the
Yeah.
past, you know. So that'd be interesting. I mean, you'd think what we would have saw in that video, but you just never know.
Yeah. And,
You're right.
and Kyle, I don't know if this is the appropriate segment to bring it up, but the other thing that I thought was extremely well done is the tailgate pad that they released a video of for bike transport.
Yeah, I will pull that up because it is very well done. Yeah, so here it is, Skylar. And at one point we saw a video somewhere of some people putting it on, like two people together. Is that
It
an
might
older
have been
post?
on RJ's Instagram.
Here it is. This is the one I was thinking of.
Yep.
So as they're putting it on here, we can kind of talk through it. But it slips around the whole gate, which is cool. Latches in there very securely. And then throw your front tire over the front, and then it still has a place to tie into that front fork, basically, like as it comes together, right? Nice and secure.
over the like the leading edge or the forward edge of the chassis.
Yeah.
Yep, and then locks it in.
Yep.
The two things that stood out to me about this were the fact that it is very clearly Rivian branded, the same size, the same dimensions, and the same location as the Rivian letters on the tailgate. The other thing is how they made the middle portion where the rear light bar is visible through it. That to me was just kind of icing on the cake. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah. Great call outs there for sure.
Yeah, they definitely did a great job on the design. It's a pretty sweet layout, and the fact that it doesn't really take away from the vehicle is nice.
For the R1S, Skylar, and you're going to take a bike somewhere, are you going to try and find like a hitch sort of case, or are you going to actually put it on top of the roof on racks, which we've seen?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I would
so far up there and not very
totally run into something by forgetting a bike was up there. So I will not do that. But hitch style carrier with the weight capacity. So the bikes that I normally take places are e-bikes because I'm old and out of shape. So screw that full manual power thing. But anyway.
Yeah.
So they are heavier too when the batteries are in them.
Yep. No, that was a good time to throw this in here. And then I was going to throw, I mean, this takes no time at all to talk about, but this was kind of fun to see too. The Rivian mobile service vans with two different designs here. I know that some people are like, wow, big statement with the designs. But, I mean, I think they're cool. But the biggest thing is just cool from a functional standpoint. We said a long time ago, right when the Amazon van deal was first either rumored or actually came out, we kind of said, man, I wonder if that'll eventually be a part of the mobile service idea.
And this is not an original comment, but it is spot on. So the palm tree design reminds me of a bottle of Malibu rum.
Yep.
You beat me to it. I'm going to bring pineapple juice to Malibu and pineapple. Yeah, 100%. I think of either Malibu rum or it's a logo for suntan lotion company.
Yeah, I think that someone actually even said on Rivian Stories in the community, like, I wonder if they're getting a call from like Malibu rum right now. Cease and desist.
But no, the sunscreen thing is good too. It's like lather up. Here comes Rivian mobile service.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like we got as much of a look on this other one, but it's definitely some pine trees, some flowers, so maybe more of a mountain scene, something like that. But still will grab your attention, right? You will know that Rivian service is in the neighborhood.
For sure. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and it makes sense at this stage in the game, but the front end is still the Amazon style front end, and I believe that that might change in the future for other potential customers.
So are you talking about, we've had in the news that Rivian and Amazon's exclusive partnership has the potential to open up to where Rivian will make vans for other companies? Are you saying as they do that for other companies, maybe a different front face than what we see right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Could see that, right? The other somewhat, it's not related, but as far as just maybe a little bit of a quick hit, Rivian official posted, I guess it was their latest post, that the production ramp continues to climb, which means you can now take delivery of an R1T faster than ever, in some cases 14 days or less. And so I actually got a tag from one of my neighbors down the street. So this is my cue to buy the R1T, correct? Right? And I'm like, correct. I need to reply. The way this will happen will be an invite into the R1 shop, correct? So we're not talking about
That's what I'm thinking.
custom configuration and necessarily delivery, but an invite to the R1 shop. Or Skylar, do you think this could also include?
I don't know,
custom?
man.
Yeah.
I think from what I've heard, they are not really batch building anymore. So I don't know if that is, what just might be available in the R1 shop, or whether they're now at a point within the R1T backlog, if you will, to where they can take a new order and build it to order and get it shipped out fairly quickly, which wouldn't surprise me. I will also say this, our friend Rashad was just recently at the factory, and he said it's 3-to-1 R1S to R1T on the line. I also dropped by the Rivian Service Center here in Austin today just to have them check something out, as a result of a request that I posed as a question in a support ticket. And R1S is everywhere. So that is super exciting. And matter of fact, within the last week, I have seen my first Red Canyon R1S in person. Just today, I saw my first Compass Yellow R1S in person. And we're about to see a lot more R1Ss on the roads. I will tell you, in general, every day that I am driving, I now see at least one other Rivian.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Sorry, I was going to say, I still think it's R1 shop. I'm going to go with you on that one, Kyle. I feel like there's still I don't know the words I'm looking for, but there's still too many people waiting for these not be R1 shop vehicles.
And that is very possible. I mean, the other part of the backlog from an R1T perspective that we know is still out there is the dual motor and Max Pack variants.
Max Pack, yeah.
Which those will also be shipping in not too long.
Oh no, this month is dual motor configs. I think Max Pack is June, but dual motors right now. So
I want to drive one.
I do too. We can come back to this, but this is the last thing I had written as far as just another short one. Probably just release an episode with a few short hits all together in one. But 5 days ago, it looks like Rivian Official had posted this, although we found out before it. But highest safety rating, top pick from IIHS. So I actually want to bring this over to this screen here. I looked at some of these videos, found some of the others here, but congrats to Rivian on a top pick as far as safety. And I actually have still been asked that quite a bit from kind of some of the friends and whatnot, like when they're asking about the Rivian, they're brand new to it. Especially for an SUV is a question that gets asked quite a bit from that crowd, because you have a lot of moms and dads, you know, kind of thinking about that type of vehicle. A lot of moms and dads with multiple kids like a bigger, heavy vehicle for a safety reason. So we always knew that it was coming to this, right? As far as we knew it would be a very safe vehicle and win some awards for it. But nice to see some of that come out for sure.
I think I got one more quick hit, and that is, I think it was RJ's post, but they talked about how the Rivian R1T is the number one selling all-electric pickup truck in the United States of America, which, again, I mean, there's only 3 out right now, if you count the Hummer as a truck. But the fact that the startup is leading the segment right now is pretty awesome.
Incredible, actually. And another note there, you guys know that I put down a reservation on an F-150 Lightning, which after driving one, and especially going side by side between a Rivian and the Lightning, I'm not going to order mine, but Ford has been spamming lately, like, come on, order your Lightning. So I wonder if the low, I think it was $100, but between the low deposit reservation amount and just the realities of the market, if they're not seeing the type of conversion that they might have expected.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that's hurting them right now is the fact that they've had at least one, if not 2 fires. They have also raised the price 4 or 5 times, I want to say, I mean, they finally got around to lowering, I think, the Lariat. But the truck that they announced with the original pricing is not the same truck that you're going to get now. I mean, you're talking about, I think, another like $10,000 or $15,000, depending on which model you're going to be getting, which again is no small potatoes. Rivian did the same thing, but we already knew the Rivian was going to be expensive, and this truck was supposed to come in cheaper and is now just as expensive, if not more expensive than the Rivian, with the price increases that they've done.
Yep.
So kudos to Rivian for being the number one all-electric pickup truck sold in the United States of America. Yeah, this was a good post.
This is a good post from Kyle Connor, our buddy. And, you know, if you don't know Kyle Connor, then, well, that's crazy. But amazing YouTube channel. Been traveling the last few months and haven't had the chance to drive my R1T much. I'm fortunate enough to drive a bunch of interesting electric cars, and that's an understatement. Like every electric car on a weekly basis. And even with that, the R1T is just the jam. Spent some time driving it again today, and there's really no vehicle that it can come close, or that can come close. The software updates have improved the experience tremendously since I first got the truck almost a year ago, rolling up on 30,000 miles, and we'll have a detailed ownership update for you coming soon. So no other information, just wanted to share how awesome the vehicle is. Of course, we all know that here on RS, but it's a cool check-in for sure, and that'll be fun to see that ownership update after 30,000 miles in a year. So yeah.
Without
and
a
Skylar,
doubt.
your comment is what reminded me of that when you said about the F-150.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I was up in Colorado with Kyle Connor, and we were doing towing and max payload testing, and yeah, I was able to get out of the Rivian and get into the Lightning, and it was top of the line, platinum, and the Lightning is an incredible truck and the best F-150 ever, in my opinion. But it's an F-150. It doesn't feel special like the Rivian does. And not to mention that the Rivian actually handled the max payload and the towing more capably and more confidently. I mean, it's amazing what Rivian has done.
Yeah, it makes me excited to see what Rivian will do in the future with the R2 platform, and what we'll see as far as what they put on top of that new platform, how many different tops that'll come from it, as far as different types of vehicles. That'll be fun to see. And I say that because at one point we talked about the Kia EV9 or whatever it is, and a really cool looking vehicle. Who knows what it'll be like in person in the final production of it. And so there will certainly be a lot of great vehicles coming out as people enter into the electrified deal. But Rivian does have, we've said from the beginning, just some soul to it. There's a lot of thought, a lot of little things that add up into a unique experience and something that had some soul. Go ahead, Skylar.
You know what I would love to see Rivian do? And I know that Rivian has been conservative with the way that they release information and release designs and things along those lines. I would love to see them open it up a little bit, because there are more electrified options coming that companies are putting out concepts and are talking about and potentially building interest and excitement around. I'd love to see Rivian do that. I mean, the next EV that I buy will be in the vein of a Jeep Wrangler, or I can't wait to see more about Jeep's Recon, which is kind of Wrangler light, right? Or Ford Bronco. We need to see what Rivian has coming. And I think that they should build some hype and excitement around it, because even if it's not final, I mean, show us what's on the roadmap, because that could potentially give people enough reason to wait for it instead of something else that they could buy sooner.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that, Skylar. The biggest reason I agree with that, I have a new coworker, Matt, who knows, he might even be listening, but sometimes we'll go roll out to lunch and he drives the Rivian when we do. It's just become a new thing, and at one point we were kind of joking around with him, like, what's your next vehicle, dream vehicle? And he kind of mentioned a few other things. Rivian wasn't on there. He was like, well, I'm thinking realistically, and because the R1 is very, very expensive by any, I mean, it's a great value, don't get me wrong, but it's expensive for a vehicle. And so I kind of mentioned, well, man, there's the R2's coming out, and he's like, well, what is that? And like, well, the R2.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be more. I know it's going to be more affordable, and I know it's still going to have some Rivian heart and soul to it. From what we've heard RJ say that that he's excited how it still retains heart and soul of Rivian. So even for people like that, there's got to be a lot of those people that are thinking of their next car, dream car. That's he's 3 to 5 years ahead either way. He drives a nice Jeep Grand Cherokee right now. It's going to be a while before he gets a new one. So we got to start planting those seeds in these people's minds. To Skylar's
That's
point.
right. And I guess our tagline for now could be, you need to take a look at the Rivian R2. What is it? No freaking clue.
Yeah. Yep.
So true.
And eventually, all the internet designers just start designing the R2 platform anyway. And
Oh, yeah, they already have.
they already have. And a lot of the people that see those designs just on a forum or somewhere, they don't know that it's not real. They're just thinking like, oh, that's the new rally car, you know? Wow, when's that coming out?
Yeah, when all these third-party sites do their own conceptual renders, I mean...
Some of them really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish some of the... well, I don't wish, but even before all the Rivian stuff, I wish some of those people that did the Cybertruck were correct, you know? It would have been
I was
way
about
better.
to say the same thing, Kyle.
All right, that's all for this one. We have more coming, so please subscribe. In the meantime, we hang out at rivianstories.com. Click on shop, find yourself a t-shirt. Thanks so much for your support.